like you're trying, my video cut off, you're trying to figure it out because they have done their own thing. So I love that. But yeah, I am going to, my hair, Lord, I'm gonna have to, my hair. I can't wait to give him some hair. Oh my gosh, he needs hair. Not my hair, he needs hair. He needs his own hair. So cute. I just can't believe it. As much as I can't believe that I actually am letting him go, I'm just that much excited for his mom to actually get him and see him. So I cannot wait to finish, to like start rooting him and stuff. But I have another baby that I'm working on that you guys have not seen yet, that I am rooting. And when I'm done with that rooting, I would share that baby, but then he would get to get his hair. He'll start to get his hair. I'm trying not to like give him any type of hair or anything until I'm absolutely done with the other baby. And that's just the way it goes. I will be sending out, Emmy will be leaving for her mom. So that's another farewell of another one of my favorites. So it's been crazy. A lot of my favorite babies have been like floating out. And you know, the tea is that Leela probably will be next in line. As much as I love her, and I want to keep her, and I may end up keeping her. But that was never supposed to be the plan, and I'm trying in 2024 to stick to my plan. I am supposed to paint and sell. Until I'm not. Because what ends up happening is I end up keeping babies that were never intended to be kept, and then I end up, babies that I intended on keeping, I end up selling, which you would just have to be in this position to understand how crazy that can get. Because you have emotions and then you have finance, and it's like, okay, somebody gotta go, because I can't afford to keep, you know, all these kids, and also taking all this time that I take to paint my babies. I'm not a fast painter. I can be a fast painter sometimes, but I'm not that fast of a painter. Like, I don't put out like baby after baby after baby. So you may see a baby from me, like you'll see Neely completed, and you may not see another baby that's available from me for another 3 or 4 months, versus the average silicone artist, they are like pumping out babies like one every week. Sometimes you see 2 of them a week, you know what I mean? And vinyl, oh my gosh, vinyl, they pop them out like rabbits every 3 days, some of the artists, which doesn't mean that their work isn't good. That's no shade, because I know an artist for a fact. I know 2 artists. I know both, one in the silicone world and I know one in the reborn world, that put extreme detail in their babies, high quality, and can paint and root like that. Like that, baby. And they make good money off of their babies. So timing is nothing, because once these people master their skill, they don't have to second guess themselves and think about it. You gotta think like somebody like me that just started painting off a whim, never did any type of art whatsoever, ever. Very self-conscious. Feel like everybody gonna grade me high, harder. So that keeps me, grounded, and I feel like, the community constantly have their foot on my neck, you know what I mean? So I take a little bit longer, but I'm also a collector, so I keep a lot of my babies. So even when I have babies in between, a lot of them are mine. So which leads me to say that the reason why Leela might leave is because between now and the doll show, which is in June, I may not be working on anything else to sell. I may be taking time just to do some pleasure painting so that I can, practice on my skills, my freedom of being just totally free. I don't care how much I love a person that I work with, how calm and cool that person is. I know that I'm not totally free. And, you know, I think other artists can understand this, because people, they mean it when they say it. I feel like a lot of people mean it when they say it, but they are constantly like checking. Like they're like in their mind are like, I hope she don't do this. I know I told her I love da 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 da, but I really don't like when she do this. You know what I mean? Or, you know, at some point within that process, you're going to get a question, which is going to make you question everything at that point. Like, I wonder if, okay, here we go. You know what I mean? So it's just, it's not the same as painting with no expectations, no intention to sell. Just do you, be you, and just take risks and expand, experiment, you know, explore. And so that's where I want to be for the next, you know, few babies. Just because I feel like I'm at a place where I just need that freedom of creative flow for just a little bit. So, and moving forward, I think it's going to be good for me, like, to only announce my babies once they are painted. Maybe before they're rooted. I like to share my babies before they're rooted, to give mommies heads up that are interested if they're a baby that's going to be for sale, because it gives them a heads up. And I don't like to do long layaways. I don't even like to do layaway at all. But if someone needs a layaway, you know, at least if they need a short layaway or something like that, in most cases I'm going to require a half down on a silicone baby. So at least they know to at least work on it, you know, having that half down available by the time that baby is, you know, available. Now, the unfair part about it all is, do they always last or be around by the time I get ready to officially say, okay, this baby is available, XYZ, da da da? Not always. As a collector, the collector side of me said that's unfair. I'd be sick of that. I can't stand it. The artist part of me is like, it's wonderful. It's lovely. You know, less stress. You know what I mean? Less worry. Sometime, you know, if it's somebody that you don't have to worry about the rooting part. I typically like to at least have the front part of the hair rooted, so they kind of can know what a baby gonna look like with hair beforehand. With this baby, I knew that the mommies that were interested in this baby, I knew that I could root the baby later, without having to worry about if that's going to change their opinion of the baby per se. So, yeah, so that's, you know, that's just the way it go. A lot of times people also, you know, they're looking for silicone to be, you know, fairly cheap, because they don't know, because they're new to the market and they've been buying reborns, or maybe they've been buying silicones, you know, from, you know, particular artists that do sell their work at a lower price. And so I always try to mention in my videos and let people know that these babies are not cheap. Mine are not cheap. I know they're not cheap. And that's why I appreciate my customers, because they don't have to buy my dolls. There's 1,000 other artists out here that they can buy from. There's other, you know, good AA artists, and, you know, black, brown, that paint biracial brown babies, etc., etc. I'm not the gatekeeper of that. I know that. But my prices are my prices, and they range anywhere from $4,800 to $6,000 for my full bodies. Rarely do they fall below that. I have sold some for lesser if I feel like they qualify to be you know, priced lesser, then that's, you know, that's what I do. I know what I'm looking at in front of me. I know my work. I know what I want to set as the standard. And it's funny, it's kind of tricky because it's like, you know, one baby may have the same marking as another baby, but I decided to mark this baby down. It's just me, my mood, how much work I've put into this baby, the skin tone, how hard it took me to get to that. You know, it's a lot of different things. And a lot of people also have a misconception of that the darker the skin tone is, the more work it is. And that can be true. Two things can be true at the same time. That can be true when that baby is darker and have a lot of detail and is the right level of darkness. You know what I mean? Like the skin tone is realistic. Have depth and vibrant, you know, color for a black baby, and not be gray or, you know, look muddy and that type stuff. But light babies, the biracial babies, the even like the Asian skin tones, or what we typically, for me, are just black babies that are just freshly born, because our babies don't really come into their richness of their color until they get a little bit older. As they start age, you know, a couple weeks go by, months, then they start coming into their color, some faster than others. I'm not going to argue with you that there's babies in Africa and, you know, this place and that place that are born, you know, already fully melanated. I'm not going to argue with you on that, because that is, it's not even an argument, because you can find anything in the world. You know what I mean? And you definitely can. That is definitely a realistic factor, that, you know, a baby can be born straight out the womb with full of their richness in their color. You know what I mean? But is it common in my family, in what I'm familiar with? No. They typically are very, very light, very fair in their skin tone. And so, but those colors are not always as easy to reach as people think, to get them a realistic color. And then you have to have a certain level of detail and all that and stuff. So, you know, it's each his own. It's however you value yourself, however you place your worth. You know what I mean? If you value your worth at, you know, XYZ, you know, $200, then $200 it is. If you value yourself at $2,000, then that's what it is. You know, I'm not going to argue with anyone on that. I don't expect nobody to argue with me. My battery's about to go dead. So we can talk about it later. Maybe I'll go live. See you guys later. Bye.